Coffee chats today. Am I alive? Everything is all right. All right. So good. Happy Friday, everybody. Today we're going to talk about coffee chats, and from the standpoint that you probably, if you're utilizing coffee chats as a networking opportunity, as a way to connect with your people, uh, you uh, you're probably wondering, like, is it bringing me return ROI, return on investment, and how much coffee chats really moving the needle in my business, and is it something that really really driving sales? That's what we are going to talk about today. So uh, if you're joining, as you are joining, say hello in the chat. Tell me where you're watching me from. And also, I'm super curious. As you're joining here, uh, drop in the comments. First of all, share with me about your business, what business you are running. And also, I'm curious, are you utilizing coffee chats? So when you connect with people, do you offer them networking calls, connection calls? And what is the outcome that you are seeing personally in your business when it comes to coffee chats? So today I'm going to share my insights and my thoughts about coffee chats because on the one hand, it can be a powerful tool to connect with your audience, to do market research, and to actually make some sales. On the other hand, if it is not strategic, if it is not well thought out process in your business, it can actually cost business. It can actually cost you money, like in your business. So, uh, say hello as you joining. Say hello in the chat. Tell me where you're watching me from, and what you are noticing in your business. If you're using connection call, networking calls, when it comes to coffee chats. So let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story. So in my business, personally, when I just started my business, one of the ways I was connecting with people, I on the one hand, yes, I wanted to drive people to my consultation calls, and I've always used consultative sales. It's not just a sales call; it is actually a consultation when we both make a decision if it is the right move for them to work with me or not. But also, I set up a lot of coffee chats. And I remember one customer that I still remember. And we had a really, really great experience. We had a coffee chat, and it was just a networking call. And then that person, absolutely no pressure to like to a sale or anything like that. But that person actually said, yes, I would like to set up another call. I would like to set up a consultation, and I would like to work with you. And the second call actually uh, produced conversion. That person decided to work with me, and it was great. So, but also in with my clients and in my business, I've also noticed when there's no directionality, when there's no system, that actually cost like the coffee chats, the connection costs actually uh, sometimes resulted in wasted time. So you get on a call with somebody and it doesn't produce anything. It doesn't produce the market research. It doesn't produce the sale. And more importantly, you are left with this feeling like what is this for? Like what this activity with this particular activity actually producing in my business. So let's unpack that. Let's unpack Cafe Chat. So let's unpack the ROI, the return on investment on networking calls and on coffee chats. So when it comes to your business, one thing that is essential to understand. And it is essential to understand whenever you do anything in your business, does it bring you does it grow your business? Does it grow awareness? And does it bring you money? And because you're not here to just chat, you're not here just to waste your money. You're not or money and time. You're running a business. You're building a business. You're here to make a difference. Now, uh, if you're using like coffee chats as a way for your people to connect with you, uh, it is essential to think about well thought out pathway, well thought out customer journey, like after that coffee chat. So what is happening after the coffee chat, and what is the intentionality and directionality? So if there's no intentionality, if there's no directionality, then that particular activity can actually cost money and time in your business. So when it comes to sales, right? Because at the end of the day, we we started our businesses. Yes, because we have a deeper calling. Yes, because we want to make a difference. Yes, because we want to create impact and we want to connect with people. But also, if our businesses are not producing income, are not producing, are not are not converting people into the clients, then we're not able to make income. And in order to make sales and in order to create impact, it is essential to understand not just sales, but the sales system and how everything is interconnected. This is the most essential part. So, and when it comes to sales in particular, because let's be just honest, we are doing coffee chats, we're doing our connection calls to eventually bring that person into our world and have that person as a customer. Are our coffee chats actually bring people to the business? Are we bringing people to the business? But one essential part to understand: if you don't have a streamlined, well documented sales process, sales system that does like that, it's not just about sales goals, it's not just about content, it's not just about strategy, but it's about well thought out sales process that includes human psychology, how people make a decision. Because a sale, when people exchange the money for your services, like this is psychological act. This is a psychological act, and in order for like one important thing to understand, in order for financial transaction to happen, the first thing that must happen is a transference of trust. Write this down. If you're taking notes, write this down. And before people exchange the money, before people make a buying decision, there's a transference of trust. Now, ask yourself, do you know? Do you have enough skills? Do you know how to create transference of trust? Now, let me tell you a story. I was working with one of my clients, and that client in particular, she was using a lot of networking calls, introductory calls, coffee chats, consultations. And her offer was absolutely amazing. Brand strategists work with um, black-owned businesses in beauty industry. Absolutely transformational service. And when it comes to her the messaging part, when it comes to content, when it comes to the knowledge, when it comes to expertise, was absolutely phenomenal. But she didn't see the return on investment with a lot of connection calls. And when we started working together, we were diving into that aspect. Why people who connect, why people who come to the networking calls, come to the coffee chats, come to the network connection calls, why they're not buying. And one essential part in that process was the lack of transference of trust. And the lack of transference of trust. Why lack of trust can happen in your business? Either it is lack of authority, or you're just making your offer not quite safe, not quite doable for your potential customer. And this that was essential. So would that surprise you if I told you that when we worked together, we shifted the way how the offer at the sales stage, not at the marketing stage, not in the content, not in her podcast, but actually at the final stage, it was positioned not quite as a safe option. And that tapped into her potential customers buying or not because of the lack of trust. And that was really pivotal point for my client. So the way we change it, first of all, we created the comprehensive like path for the service. So those people who uh, would come to her networking calls or consultations would actually understand, would actually have a comprehensive plan of payment, and that created a trust. So, and after we made that change, she immediately signed up two clients, and her offer was a quite high ticket offer. So as you're joining me live, tell me in the chat, share with me in the chat, are you using coffee chats as a way to network and get to know your customers, and what is the outcome in particular in your business? Because I recently had a conversation with one of my connections, and that person shared with me that they would do a lot of coffee chats. They would do a lot of connections, and I think it was 100 connections. But those 100 connect, and a coffee chat normally it is like anything between 15-minute call to 30 minutes call to an hour. And imagine 100 calls, 100 coffee chats did not produce any sales. Did not produce any sales. And the root cause of that, it was because those networking calls, they were very disconnected in the sales system in that particular person. It was very disconnected. And the way it was disconnected is that there's no particular path, there's no clear path for those people to understand where do they go next. If it is like if we networked, we established connections, but like then what? There was simply not the pathway forward. And um, a lot of business owners think that the networking calls, the networking chats, will simply be the path to actually start making sales, but it is not. It is not always the case. And it's not always hello, hello, thank you for joining. I appreciate you joining. Share with me, are you using networking or like coffee chats in your business? Because like I'm super curious to know. uh one is the ROI in my audience, like who are using coffee chats, like what people are seeing in their businesses. So for my connection, that we had a conversation, that we had a conversation that that was quite jarring, and that new connection said, Eugene, I literally had a 100 calls, um uh, as a coffee chats, and I don't and they don't produce sales. But here's the thing, it is essential to uh, have your business to have cross references, right? Like in your marketing, in your business, right? Because there are two ways you can actually leverage coffee chats. One way is as a market research, because I also work with a client that who I recommended, like, hey, you know what? Right now, you see significant slowdown in your business. You have not had a sale for quite some time. So you actually use your coffee chat as a market research. And instead of just chatting with people and like seeing if they're a potential customer, identify how many qualified people do you have in your audience, right? Are they qualified or not? So like this is the first question. Are they, well, do I have qualified people who are willing to talk to me? If the answer is yes, then yeah, like you can start leveraging coffee chats. The second point of view for the coffee chats is actually do the market research, because not everybody is ready to buy. Like, is actually not everybody is actually ready to buy right now, but people are willing to share with you their pain points, what they're using. It's also creating that connection, because as I share in the beginning, I had a customer from a coffee chat. Dina, thank you so much for your comments. Yes, I'm an artist. Like, Dina, tell me about your business. What kind of artist are you, and who do you serve with your art? Like, what kind of art you are creating? And thank you so much for your participation. Like, really, really appreciate you. So, uh, the bottom line is that normally what I see in the market, service-based entrepreneurs, coaches, service providers, experts, uh, sometimes we are afraid of sales. We're afraid of being salesy. We use sometimes coffee chats as an excuse not to make a sale or not sound salesy. And we think if we provide a lot of value, if we connect with people on a deeper level, people will buy. But it's not simply the case, because again, at the beginning of my live stream, at the beginning of this episode, I was mentioning that sales is a psychological event, right? It is psychological. It is creating the transference of trust. It is creating connection, and it is creating the safe opportunity for your customer. So, and if your coffee chats are not producing income for you, and they're not bringing the income, they're not bringing your market research, so you can't leverage that data, that information in your business, in your messaging, in creating that customer journey that people will actually resonate, then maybe it is time for you to think about how do you implement that sales system. Because here's the thing, every action or inaction has a cost. If you're not taking action on learning the sales system, learning the buyer psychology, learning how to connect with people on the next level of identity, because here's the thing, here's the thing. When we talk about high ticket sales, when we're selling high ticket items, and every sales coach, every high ticket sales coach, they have different. interpretation of high ticket item. For in my book, high ticket item is anything between $3,000 and up, like three, five, $15,000. So when people make a big investment, when people make a big investment, it is psychological event. It is psychological. So how do you create those experience pre-buying experiences? How do you help people to make a decision? Because here's the thing: when people connect with you on the consultation call, if it is a coffee chat, networking, whatever, like the discovery call, uh, people are going to experience fears and resistance. How do you address those fears and those resistance in your sales conversations? In that is absolutely essential. So let me look at the comments. I create energy like serving people on spiritual. Yeah, and Dina, spiritual journey. I think the spirituality and spiritual journey is such an untapped opportunity for so many entrepreneurs, soul-driven entrepreneurs. Because I know when it comes to spirituality, I know entrepreneurs who are quite profitable in this space. They create retreats, they create experiences, they create art, and they're making quite a lot of money. But also, like I know, soul-driven purpose-driven entrepreneurs in the spiritual space who are struggling because of this disconnect. How do like and uh here's the thing: when it comes to high ticket sales, your offer doesn't have to be a tangible offer. And when I say tangible offer, I mean like your offer doesn't have to help people to make a lot of money. Like your promise to your customer doesn't have to revolve around money, because people buy non-tangible stuff all the time, and people invest quite a bit of money for non-tangible stuff. But again, why people buy that? Because they feel and there is a transference of trust. And more importantly, before the transference of trust happens, you gotta provide the result to your customer before the transaction. In 2025, it is so essential to uh, create create those experiences when people create trust. And today on Instagram, I share a story how I invested $9,000 in my coach, in my mentor that I worked with a year ago. And it was because of transfers of trust. And also, I was getting the result, the return on investment before the investment. So I'd like to have a live coffee chat with you. Yeah, thank you. I provide an experience. So, Dina, I'm super curious. What is the group of people that you serve? Is it entrepreneurs? Are there professional people? What what are they like? You create experiences, right? But what experience what people are walking away with from your experiences, that is super interesting. Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs in hypno breath work, in meditation, in wellness, in fitness, in mindset coaching. So, and I don't have a lot of entrepreneurs when it comes to specifically art. So, and I think you have a very, very interesting, you have a very, very interesting niche, and you have a very, very interesting perspective. So, uh, definitely would like to chat with you about about your business and about your offer. So now let me kind of drive everything home. So if you like, if you connect with your customers, right? You create those experiences. It is essential to learn a skill of selling, and selling is a service. And when it comes to sales, there are two parts. There are pre transaction experience, because your sales starts before the transaction, and the second portion of the sales experience is when you close the opportunity, when you close the sale. This is your consultation, and this is your and this is your sales call. And in order to have successful business, it is important to have to invest in that, to have that skill and invest in that skill. Because here's the thing: when we started our businesses, not a lot of us came from sales background. Not a lot of us came from marketing background. And one interesting thing that I'm noticing, people who are really, really good at marketing, they normally struggle with the closing sales in particular. Uh, People who are really great at sales, meaning they close sales, they can sell anything on the sales call, they normally struggle at marketing. And in order for you to run successful business, it is important to deploy behavioral based sales strategy that is congruent with you, congruent with your business, congruent with your offer, congruent with your customer when they say, and that is easier for them to say yes. So I have an invitation for you. If you're looking for private mentorship where you can learn this, like the behavioral based sales strategy, when it comes to pre-buying experience, when it comes to creating that transference of trust, because it is essential component, because your sales starts before the sales call. And also say closing people on the call. I do have a private one-on-one business advisory mentorship program when I mentor, coach, and consult people one-on-one on high ticket sales, how to close more sales, and also how to leverage human psychology to create that transference of trust. And one of my superpowers, or one like it is one of my backgrounds, because I have several. I am a former clinical psychologist, and I work in therapy for 10 plus years. And one thing I love about my journey is actually understanding human psychology when it comes to identity marketing, connecting with people at the next desired level of identity. Because again, people don't buy luxury cars because they want a car. They buy a luxury car because they want a next level of identity. People don't buy houses just because they want to live somewhere. People buy houses, people buy properties because of the next level of identity, who they want to become. People don't buy coaching, consulting, just because they want to have like certain amount of goals, like meditation, self-actualization. People buy that next level of identity, who they want to become, as a result of your service. And what I help business owners to implement is actually put that human component, psychological component, in their sales, and then their messaging, and in their positioning. And like this is how effective sales are happening. They're behavioral based, because and when people say buying psychology, I think it's a little bit short sighted. It's not just a buying psychology; it's a human psychology. What is that human journey? Because understanding that human journey, understanding that human psychology, because there's a breaking point in your audience, in your customer. There's a breaking point when they say, you know what, I will pay for that. And I know that it is a big investment. For me, for example, when I decided to work with my mentor, I understood, you know what? Like I do understand that it will cost. And in fact, when um, I connected with my coach, her offer at a time was $15,000. And I think I was lucky that I was able to get her offer and her container for $9,000. It was a little bit shorter container for, it used to be a year, but I worked with her for 6 months. And there was a breaking point. Also, ask yourself, do you know what is a breaking point for your customer when they decide to invest? And do you speak to that breaking point? And also, when you are on your coffee chat, on your connection call, on your networking call, on your sales call, on your consultation call, how do you leverage that breaking point to help them to make a buying decision? And it's a human psychology and it's a buyer psychology. And it's so essential to understand. And when like also what I see when people say that, oh, the sales are not coming in, the buyers are not coming in, it's probably because you are missing that the breaking point, the transference of trust, and also on the sales call, how do you lead people to that decision with the right question, with the active listening. And when I say active listening, you listen to their stories and you ask more questions as you are navigating that conversation. Are you addressing the red flags in your coffee chats, in your sales conversations? Because one thing I know about people after working with people in therapy and mentorship and coaching, people will tell you about themselves, and people will tell on themselves too. The red flags there, right there at the beginning, and if you're not addressing them and you are moving them to the offer, to the sales portion, like you will get a lot of objections because you did not address the objections at the beginning. So, if you're looking for help in implementing behavioral based sales strategy in your business to bring more business, to create that impact, because you started your business to create impact. You started your business to create the life by design. And that business requires certain skill set. And one of the skill set is understanding the human psychology, the buying psychology, the psychographics of your customer. So if you're looking to help with that, with your messaging, with your sales process, the link for my application, it is in my bio. So fill out the application. Here's the process. If it is an alignment, if it is the right fit, we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna have a conversation in the DMs, and if it makes sense, we're gonna have a conversation on Zoom, and it's gonna be a consultation. It's not gonna be just a sales call when I offer you or present you an offer that may not be aligned with you. I want to make sure that it is the right fit, and if it is not the right fit, I will tell you that it's not the right fit. And after that, we move forward with working one on one. And also, like one thing I love about my business and I love about what I do with entrepreneurs, like that it is very customized solution for your business specifically. Because like I like group coaching, but one thing that is missing for me in group coaching containers is one-on-one component. Even if it is like just once a month, one-on-one component, I don't think it is like quite enough. For me personally, whenever I had an opportunity to work with a provider, to work with a coach, to work with my mentor one-on-one, it is 100% better return on investment just and then just uh, being in the group, and it's higher level of accountability because also a lot of people say, hey, I would like to have a trusted advisor, I would like to have accountability. So Again, the link is in my bio. I will drop the link in the chat after the live stream. And thank you so much for your participation. Thank you so much for your participation. Thank you, Dina. Also, I would like to ask you what resonated with you today, and what questions do you have for me about sales psychology, about the coffee chats. Maybe you're thinking about how to implement that component in your business, how to, maybe you have questions about the objections when it comes to the sales calls in particular. Drop them in the chat. I will hang out here for a few more minutes. We're almost done, and I would like to hear from you. Like, what questions do you have for me? How how can I help you today with your business today, right here and right now? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate each and every one of you. Also, replay crew, thank you so much for watching the this live stream, this episode on the replay. And as always, my DMs are open if you want to have a conversation, if you have questions, if you want to know more details about what I do and how I can help you. Feel free to send me a DM and let's have a conversation. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week.